What if I told you the world's most recognizable drink was never supposed to taste the way it does? Every second, thousands of bottles are opened somewhere on Earth. The red logo is more recognized than most world flags. But almost nobody knows that the drink inside started as a mistake, made by a man who was actually trying to cure headaches, addiction, and pain. He wasn't trying to invent a soft drink. He was trying to save himself. But the real story is far stranger. Today, Coca-Cola sells more than 1 billion servings a day. It's in vending machines in Antarctic research stations. It's stocked in tiny village shops with no electricity. It has survived wars, recessions, and 140 years of changing tastes. We treat it like it always existed. Like it was inevitable. But it wasn't supposed to exist at all. Behind that formula, locked in a vault, guarded like a state secret, is a story that starts not in a factory, but in the aftermath of a war, inside the mind of a man in terrible pain. So how does a battlefield injury turn into the most famous beverage on the planet? Let's go back to the beginning. The year is 1865. The American Civil War has just ended, and a Confederate soldier named John Pemberton is riding home, wounded. He took a saber slash across the chest in one of the war's final battles. The wound never fully healed. Pemberton wasn't a soldier by trade. He was a pharmacist, a man obsessed with chemistry, tonics, and remedies. But now he was also something else. A patient. In constant pain. And like thousands of veterans returning from that war, he turned to the only relief available at the time. Morphine. It worked. And that was the problem. Pemberton became addicted, just like so many wounded soldiers of his era. Historians call it the first wave of an opiate crisis in America, decades before anyone used that term. But Pemberton refused to accept it as his fate. He was determined to create something that could replace the drug that was destroying him. Something powerful enough to numb pain, without the chains of addiction. Picture a small pharmacy in Atlanta. Dim light. Glass bottles lining wooden shelves. A man in his 40s, hunched over a workbench, grinding coca leaves imported from South America, mixing them with cola nut extract from West Africa. 2 continents worth of stimulants, combined in one American drugstore. He called it different names over the years. French wine coca. A tonic. A medicine. It was never meant to be a soft drink. It was meant to be his way out. But nothing about this journey was simple. Pemberton's formulas failed again and again. Ingredients spoiled. Investors lost interest. His body kept deteriorating from years of addiction and injury. He was broke more often than not, constantly reformulating, constantly chasing a version of the tonic that actually worked. Then, in 1886, disaster struck in the form of new legislation. Atlanta introduced prohibition laws banning alcohol. Pemberton's tonic contained wine. Overnight, his product was illegal to sell in his own city. Most people would have given up. Pemberton didn't. He went back to the lab and stripped the alcohol out completely, replacing it with sugar syrup. He needed something to make the new, harsher formula bearable to drink. That decision, forced by a law he never wanted, accidentally created the drink we know today. Nobody in that pharmacy realized what they had just done. The final version needed testing. His bookkeeper, Frank Robinson, mixed the new syrup with carbonated water almost by accident, at a soda fountain, just to see how it tasted. It wasn't part of the plan. It was curiosity. The fizzing brown liquid hit the counter. And for the first time, Coca-Cola, in something resembling its modern form, existed. Pemberton believed he had created a medicine. A cure for headaches, fatigue, even morphine addiction itself. He advertised it as a brain tonic. A nerve stimulant. Something you'd find prescribed, not enjoyed. And here's the part almost nobody expects. It flopped. In its first year, Pemberton sold an average of about 9 glasses a day. Not per hour. Per day. In one city. His entire first year of sales barely covered the cost of advertising. The public didn't see a miracle drink. They saw an unusual, bitter tonic being pushed by a struggling pharmacist with a laundry list of health problems. Pemberton never lived to see what his invention would become. His addiction worsened. His health failed. And in desperation for money, he began selling off pieces of the rights to his formula, to multiple different people, sometimes the same rights sold twice. He died in 1888, believing his invention was a failure. But one man saw something Pemberton never did. His name was Asa Candler, a fellow pharmacist who quietly bought up the rights to the formula piece by piece, eventually gaining full control. Candler didn't change the drink much. He changed everything else. He realized this wasn't a medicine. It was an experience. He started distributing branded clocks, calendars, and serving trays to drugstores across the South, all stamped with the Coca-Cola name and flowing script. He turned advertising into obsession, decades before modern marketing existed as a concept. Then came a decision that would define the next century. In 1899, two lawyers convinced Candler to sell them the bottling rights for what seemed like almost nothing. Candler thought bottled soft drinks were a passing fad. He believed the real business was the syrup sold to soda fountains. He was wrong, in the most historic way possible. Bottling meant Coca-Cola could travel beyond drugstores, beyond cities, into general stores, train stations, and eventually, homes across the entire country. Then World War II arrived, and Coca-Cola made a decision that would either destroy the company or immortalize it. The company's president promised that every American soldier could buy a bottle of Coca-Cola for a nickel, wherever they were stationed, no matter the cost to the company. Coca-Cola built bottling plants near the front lines. Soldiers associated the drink with home, comfort, and normalcy in the middle of chaos. By the end of the war, Coca-Cola wasn't just an American product anymore. It was a symbol. From there, the growth became almost unstoppable. The distinctive contour bottle became one of the most recognized shapes in the world. The red and white logo appeared on every continent. Coca-Cola became so central to global culture that it was used as a measurement of economic reach, a way to gauge whether a country had opened up to the world. Today, more than 1.9 billion servings of Coca-Cola products are consumed every single day. That's not a company anymore. That's a piece of modern civilization. And the original formula, the one born from war wounds, morphine addiction, and a prohibition law that forced a desperate reinvention, is still locked away, one of the most guarded secrets in corporate history. Some historians believe this secret formula, Mystique itself, was invented later, as a marketing tool. Even that might have been an accident that worked. The next time you hear the hiss of a bottle opening, or see that red logo glowing on a shelf, remember what's actually behind it. Not a brilliant business plan. Not a calculated formula for global domination. A wounded soldier, addicted to pain medicine, trying to save himself. A law that banned his ingredients. A bookkeeper's careless experiment at a soda fountain. A pharmacist who believed in it after everyone else had given up. And a chain of accidents so improbable that if any single piece had gone differently, the world's most famous drink might never have existed at all.